Good morning, boys and girls. It is Tuesday morning and it is time for handwriting. Today will be our last set of capital letters that we will be practicing, and then we'll be moving on to some different letter formations and joining letters together, which will be very exciting. Okay, let's get ready to start. As usual, you need your whiteboard and marker, your handwriting book, sharp pencil, an eraser, and to be sitting up nice and straight. Okay, get those things ready, and then let's warm up our fingers.
Good morning, grade twos. Let's warm up our fingers this morning. I want you to start by tapping the table with all your fingers. You can alternate together, alternate, and together, and put your hands flat. Right, I want you to lift your thumbs, Tommy thumb, Peter pointers, Toby tools, Ruby rings, and baby smalls. And then tap again and stop. Okay, and tap again and stop. Okay, which fingers do we use to hold our pencil? It will be our Peter pointer and our Tommy thumb. If you're left-handed, Peter pointer, Tommy thumb. Let's just tap those two for a minute and stop. And tap again and stop. Hands in a fist, and let's shoot them out a few times. Shoot them out. Hands in a fist. Shoot. Hands in a fist. Lots of energy. Hands in a fist. Shoot, and one more. Good. Your hands should be warm now.
Okay, so as I said, we are doing capital letters. So as you remember from the last few weeks, capital letters only sit in the head and the tummy of the cat. They never venture down into the tail. Okay, our first two capital letters that we'll be doing today are the letters N and M. Okay, so have a look at N and you'll see your starting position 1. You go straight down, then you can lift your pencil up and go back to that big green circle starting position, but this time go diagonal down 2 and then up to the red spot to finish. Okay, so let's do it in the air nice and big. Straight down, lift, back to the beginning, diagonal down, and then straight up again to the red dot. Good. All right, and then our M, similar formation to the N, also straight lines only. Again, we start going straight down, lift where you see the yellow dot, back to the beginning green dot, follow the arrows, so diagonal down, diagonal up, and then straight down to the red dot. Do a nice big M in the air for me now, please. Okay, so looking at those formations, I want you to practice those two letters on your whiteboard. Do 5 capital N's and 5 capital M's. Make sure there's no curves or rounded bits. These are straight letters, only using straight lines. Once you've finished that, you can press pause while you do that. We'll move on to our handwriting books. Okay, so before we even begin, first draw in your cats down the margin and then write today's date, which is the 2nd of June 2020. Can you believe we are in June already, halfway through the year? So press pause, get your cats sorted out please, and write your date. Okay, we will start then with our 2 rows of capital N. And then we've got the names Nick, Neil, Naomi, and Nats to practice your capital N's. and then 2 rows of capital M. And we've got the names Michelle, Mark, and Manesu to practice. If you have space, you didn't go all the way to the end of the line, and you can think of another name with N or another name with M, then please add it in. Please make sure, boys and girls, that you do your capital N's from the red margin all the way to the end of the page. Don't just do 5 or 6. Keep going. 1 finger space between each letter, but finish right to the end of the page. Press pause while you do that beautifully. Remember to erase any that look wonky, that you aren't happy with. We are striving for perfection in handwriting during these handwriting lessons. Okay, our next 2 letters, also totally straight letters, are V and W. And if you look carefully, you'll see they look very similar. What is so similar about the V and the W? Have you spotted it? Well, don't you think that W looks like 2 V's next to each other? I think so. Okay, so have a look at the V. Start on the green dot, go diagonal down, and then diagonal up. There's no need to lift our pencils on these 2 letters. Okay, so let's do a nice big V in the air, diagonal down, and diagonal up. Easy peasy. Now let's look at the W. Diagonal down for the W, diagonal up, which is where the V would end, but now we do it again. Diagonal down, diagonal up. Do a nice big W in the air for me, please. All right, and then grab your whiteboard and practice 5 V's and 5 W's perfectly, absolutely straight lines, please. Okay, let's now move on to our 2 rows. First 2 rows of capital V, followed by the names Victoria, Varsha, and Vienna, the city. And then we will do capital W's, 2 rows, with Will, Walter, Wendy, and maybe you can fit in another one, a 4th one there. Do those perfectly. Make sure your V's are perfect straight lines and your W's too. And you can see every letter clearly in the names. They must all look 100%. All right, our 4th and 5th letters for today are our letters Y, Yo-Yo Man, and A. Now it looks a little bit confusing here perhaps because you do need to lift your pencils on occasion. Okay, so where you see the yellow dot, that means lift your pencil. So let's look carefully at the Y first. The Y is going to go from the green down diagonally to the yellow. Then you lift and then you start on the other green where it says number 2 and you come diagonally down. So it looks like you've made a V. Okay, so you do the V and then you carry on going straight down to the red dot. Okay, so let's do it in the air. Start at the top, diagonal down, lift, top right, diagonal down, and then keep going straight down. If you think of maybe one of the glasses that mom and dad have, and this might look like that, one of their wine glasses or a martini glass, it looks a little bit like this. Okay. Right, now the letter A, we start at 1, we go diagonally down to the left, lift at the yellow, then we make our cross where you can see the 2. You make the cross to the yellow, then lift, go back to the beginning starting point and come diagonally down to the right. Okay, so let's do that in the air. Start at 1. Straight down, diagonal, lift, go back about halfway up. Okay, your lines in your book will be able to help you with this, so don't panic too much. Go about halfway up, do your cross, your center cross, lift, go back to the top green starting dot, and come diagonal down all the way to the red. Okay, lines are very helpful, boys and girls, so we are lucky that our lines will help us to create these lines because your cross points and your Y, where you'll stop with that V, will be on the line. You'll see now. Okay, so let's practice that quickly on your whiteboards, please. 5 Y's, 5 A's. Okay, there we go. You can see. Now, do you see what I'm talking about? Your Y, you make that V first, and that V is just actually in the head of the cat, and then the stick cut comes down is in the tummy. So your lines in your book are going to guide you. They're going to help you to know where to stop, where to lift your pencil, and where to create the sticks or the crosses. If you have a look at the A, the center cross coming across is on the line, so you can't get it muddled up. It is on the line between the head and the tummy. That line, that's where the cross is. Okay, so we're going to do 2 rows of capital Y, and then we've got the names Yemu, Yale, like the university, and Yasmin, and then 2 rows of A, and we've got Amy, Andrew, and Anna. And let's see if you can add any more names to those. Do these carefully, boys and girls. Make sure you are stopping where you need to be stopping. You're making your crosses on the lines carefully, and it looks perfect. Okay, now we're doing our last 2 letters. Keep strong. Don't give up yet. Just 2 letters to go. Push on. All right, we've got the letters K and the letter X. All right, so K starts at the number 1 and comes straight down. Then you lift, go to the number 2 starting point, and you're going to go diagonal down to the left, and then diagonal down to the right. Okay, so let's make a nice big K in the air. So you go straight down, lift, up to the top right, diagonal to the left, diagonal to the right, down. Again, where this diagonal, where it almost looks like a V if you were to turn it sideways, and that center of that V where it touches the straight down of the K is on the line in your books, so that will help you. Okay, now let's do the X. X is just 2 straight lines, 2 straight lines at diagonals. Okay, so we get number 1, diagonal down, lift, go to starting position 2, diagonal down to the red dot, and you're done. Do a nice X in the air for me, please. Diagonal down, lift, go up, and then diagonal down again. Okay. All right. I hope you've done your K and your X on your whiteboards and practiced that. Please do that first, and then you can continue with in your books. Okay, so what we've got here, 2 rows of capital K, and as you can see, that capital K, it goes diagonal down and then diagonal down in the other direction. That crisscross is on the line between the head and the tummy. Okay, so use the line to guide you, and we have the names Kim, Kevin, and Kimberly. All right, and then we have the letters X, 2 capital X's, 2 rows of capital X, and we have the names Xander, Xavier, and Zena. They all sound like they're making a Z sound, don't they, for zigzag zebra? However, they are using the letters X. Okay, so finish strong. Do those perfectly. Make sure your X's are intersecting on the line between the head and the tummy. Make very sure you go nowhere near the tail. Okay, so finish that perfectly and send a picture to your teacher. Well done, boys and girls.